Know that I got rhythm that could suit your budget fine. You can take or leave me, but you ain't got much time, 'cause I just keep on rolling down the line.
Hey, this is Patrick with Trusty Huckster Mercantile. Welcome to my channel. If you are a regular follower of my channel, you will notice I've dyed my beard again. When that happens, I'm either feeling really self-conscious about my age or I am involved in a community theater production. And this time it's the latter, a little bit of the former, but it's mostly the latter. And I am getting this drop sale video. Thank you for asking for me to participate. Beth from Sweet Treats and Pretties is organizing the drop sale. And although schedule-wise, this is a really rough time for me to do it, and I'm like kind of running around crazy trying to pick the items to do this video with, I appreciate the opportunity because it's been several weeks since I've been able to do any sort of selling video. And by including me in this, it motivated me to get something done. So again, tonight is a drop sale shop hop organized by Beth at Sweet Treats and Pretties. This evening, you are probably about midway through the run. If you go into my schedule, you will, if you go into the description of this video, you will see the schedule for all of the sellers who are participating. Once you are done with mine at 1:30 hour, you will be able to jump over to the next seller. And I have to look really quickly to see who that is. Picasso Cat. So you can find the link there on my description or go into YouTube and find search for Picasso Cat, and that video will be dropping at 1:30 hour. So just a reminder, these are drop sale videos, so we are not live. There is no live chat, nor is there a live claim. So what you'll need to do if you're interested in claiming any of the items that I show tonight, you'll need to go into the video comments, put in the letter that I give you. I will give you a heads up. I am using letters tonight, and YouTube gets sometimes persnickety that they think just a random letter dropped in is spam. So they're being sent into the spam folder. So in the interest of making sure you get timed alongside everybody else, go ahead and say something like claiming A, claiming B, whatever it ends up being. Put it in more as a sentence or in something more than just one letter, and hopefully that will not happen. It doesn't seem to happen as much with numbers. With letters, it does. So maybe I should just use numbers, but I like to be difficult. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to claim. And if you did not see any of the promotional materials for this, because I barely did any, I do have a theme tonight, and it's all $5 ephemera. So ever wonder how much it's going to cost? Simple, it's $5. So we're going to get things started. $5 for everything that I show you, and I'll show you the letter, and you just need to claim in the comments. So starting off, surprisingly enough, another holiday is coming, and I actually happen to have some Valentine ephemera. So I wanted to make sure that that got included in the sale. And since I decided the theme was $5 ephemera, I said, well, you know what? I don't think either of these are worth $5 by themselves. So I'm putting them together. So this is a To My Valentine postcard. This one has not been used, so there is no date on it. There's no stamp. There's no postmark. So it is an unused. You could even send it to your Valentine. So you've got a vintage Valentine. And then this is obviously vintage, but I don't 100% know what it's trying to be. It is not really a postcard. It's a card, but there's nothing on the back to design it as a postcard. I don't know if it was maybe part of a card that got cut down or if it was just all by itself. So you can see there's a little couple sitting on the top, and it says, to my blank blank. And then it says, if you will be my Valentine, my joy I cannot tell, but if you say you'll not be mine, then I will feel like, and you can see the names at the top and the last word have been blacked out. And then there's a little mark for censored. And then it says enemy something. So kind of playing on when military transcriptions were sent, that you would have things marked out. If you were sending home to your loved ones, you couldn't say where you were, things like that. Clearly, I don't think this came out of the military. I think this was just something designed to have that look. I don't know what it is. So I just think it's kind of cute, and it's one of the very few Valentine's things I've ever had. So I'm putting both of these together into one lot for $5 or $5. You get both of them, and you get it by giving me letter N. N for the 2 pieces of Valentine ephemera. This was actually in my booth as a Christmas item, and he does technically have mistletoe on his hat, but he's a snowman. So, there is the philosophy that snowmen and snow people, snow entities live in the winter. So this doesn't have to be a Christmas item, although the holly does but holly is a winter thing too. These are bridge tallies, and as a set of 12, you can see, yeah, there you go. You can see it still has the little cellophane wrapper from when they were originally sold. So I don't think they could call these technically new old stock, but they're definitely unused. And half of them have green yarn, half of them have red yarn. It is a set of 12. I had them in my booth during Christmas for $8. They did not sell for $8, so now you're getting them for $5, kind of an after Christmas thing. But you could use them for the winter. That's why I'm including it. Most of my other winter or Christmas stuff just went into a box. This is being sold here. So the bridge tallies, and I'll go ahead and take one out. I can slide it back in. They are bifold cards. And of course, 2 came out, and it is open. So it could be kind of, I guess, a gift tag, but then on the back is the actual bridge tally. So I think that was why I thought for Christmas, these would be used for gift tags, but I do know people collect bridge tallies, and hey, these would look great hanging on a tree. So if you want to plan ahead for next Christmas, $5 for the bridge tally set of 12, $5. You get them for giving me letter Q. Next item I've had off and on in the past. A while back, Katie from Vintage and Vinyl and I did a deep dive on World's Fair items. So I have a couple pieces of World's Fair ephemera. One is a ticket to the Century of Progress. That was the Chicago World's Fair in 1933-34. So this is a closing day ticket. And this is worth more than $5 by itself, but I'm tacking onto it because I'm also kind of still in my closeout of trying to get rid of a lot of extra inventory. This kind of odd little mailing pamphlet that was provided from Christian Science Publishing Society, but they actually handed these out at a Century of Progress. So there probably is a way to sell this as part of a World's Fair ephemera, but the item itself has nothing to do with the World's Fair. It was actually handed out at the World's Fair. So it's a dividend for you. Draw a daily dividend on 3 pennies a day. What will that do for you? There's some illustrations. So you got the Christian Science Publishing Society. So I admit I did not actually read this, extensive thing, but it's like a little memo book. So there's places to write notes. It's just a cute little piece. By itself would not be worth $5, but I'm going to just go ahead and put the 2 of them together. $5 for the 2 World's Fair ephemera. You get those by giving me letter H. $5 for the 2 World's Fair pieces for letter H. The next item is one that unfortunately the frame had been shattered, so I took it out of the frame, but I picked it up because doing a little bit of digging, it is one of these, what would have been framed, little pieces of art, and if you look really closely at the bottom, it's from Buzza Company Craft Acres. And the copyright on this is actually the 1890s. So this is a 19th century copyright. They were printed long after the copyrighted, but that's where the design started from. And looking these up on eBay and Etsy, they sell fairly regularly. When they're framed, they can sell for fairly big bucks. This is not framed. So this would look great, in the background of a vignette. It's just got a really attractive image on it of a house. And then the poem is The House by the Side of the Road by Sam Walter Foss. Let me live in a house by the side of the road where the race of men go by, the men who are good and the men who are bad, as good and as bad as I. I would not sit in the penmanship scorner's seat or hurl the cynic's ban. Let me live in a house by the side of the road and be a friend to man. So just one of those motivational type pieces. Again, it's the Buzza company. It's a decent size. And if it were framed, this would be up on Etsy. Since it's not framed, you're getting it here, and it's only $5. So $5 for the unframed Buzza Company Crafters Poetry Motivational Piece by giving me letter P. The next item is a magazine. I have a couple different types of magazines I'll be offering here. This is a mid-century modern American family magazine. This is from 1953. So it's the National Magazine of Family Life. Some fantastic mid-century modern advertising on here. And I should have marked the page, but I'll try and find it really quick, because one of the things that they have in here is a great 2-page spread of women's fashion in wool. It's the all wool suit for fall. So you got a 2-page spread. Just check out those silhouettes. What every mid-century modern lady was trying to achieve. And some of the ads are actually in color. So what was this one? Bird's Eye Peas. So you got some color ads. A lot of the ads are black and white. Baby, that's on the inside front cover. Back cover, you do the color ad there. And the inside back cover is an ad for canned beef, everyone's favorite. Home workshop, a bunch of ads for dog food. Recipe roundup. So you got some great recipes in here. So it is the American Family Magazine from 1953, September 1953. You can get it for $5 by giving me letter J. $5, letter J for the magazine, mid-century modern magazine. Next piece, this is for all of my dairy collectors out there. I had to do a little digging, because all this is kind of like it's one of the like etchings, the black paper where you etch out the gold. I'm assuming these were done in bulk. Like, I don't think this was a one-off piece, but I also don't think it's a block print or anything, because you can feel the texture of how that was done, but not any of the little scrapey stuff that would sometimes come off it. But it's probably pretty old. The Wanzer Company says right there on the back. This is a milk company that was sold. It was a Chicago base outside of Chicago in Elgin, and it was sold to Borden Milk in the 70s. So the name itself disappeared by the 70s. I would think that's probably when this was done, because I remember doing these as a kid. So but I have no idea. It is the paper itself, the black, is attached to this cardstock piece in the back. So if I didn't know that it was Wanzer Milk that went out of business in the 70s, I would have thought it was even more recent than that. And maybe it was a commemorative piece. I do not know, but it is super cool. Even if you don't collect dairy, this is just a really fun, fun, because it looks like he's struggling to deliver the milk. And it kind of looks like he's walking through a river, but it's just a really cool looking piece. That black and gold, super hot right now, and with gold accents. This just, again, make a vignette, pop that up in the background. Who cares? It's a milk wagon. It's just a really cool piece of art. You don't even have to frame it, because it's so rigid. It actually sits up by itself. So you've got the Wanzer milk delivery guy and truck and horse. You get that for $5, giving me letter T. All right. We've got cookbooks. Got a whole stack of cookbooks. I was doing cookbooks for quite a while. They were popular for a while. I was selling them regularly, and then people just stopped buying them. So I think once the pandemic opened up, people weren't trying weird recipes in their homes anymore. So I have this stack, and I'm making this stack available. It is 5 separate cookbooks for $5. So this one's part of a set. There's 4 pieces. We've got the delicious salad recipes, useful facts about food, breads, biscuits, and rolls, 250 delectable desserts. And then this was like one of those mailing things that you got, these recipes that would have gone into a binder, so it's like part of a set. So there's 3-ring punch. But just check out, some of the images on this. So you've got all of these are going to have some fantastic recipes in them. This one's probably from the 70s. Yep, copyrighted 1970. And I think these were from the 60s. So all 4 magazine books of recipes plus the 3-ring binder set. All of them you get for $5, and you get that by giving me letter G. The next one is another magazine. This one, unfortunately, the cover image is not great. It looks like it got wet somewhere, but I picked it up anyway because it's the American Theosophist, your fun word for the day. And you can see it is a journal of occultism. So if this were in perfect condition and that person's face was not ripped off, the page itself does not have holes in it, but it's like, I think something got stuck to it. So when they picked it off, you can see it kind of like ripped off some of the color. So unfortunately, cover image, not great, but you still have information on how to become a member of the society. And there are some fun ads in here as well. And also this is from 1913. So we've got some age on this, but we've got a lovely ad for the Carroll Springs Sanitarium, because everyone is looking for a sanitarium for their loved ones. You can get private lessons in astrology, Jacob Gates cult books, something about Crotona for our brothers in prison. You know, we don't see advertisements promoting our brothers in prison very often. The book department of the Los Angeles Lodge of the Theosophical Society. Yeah, it's just again, I just think this is just one of those fun items. I was able to pick it up inexpensively as part of a bigger box of stuff. So I just $5. I just think it's kind of fun. You get a special offer to all new subscribers in 1913. It's got a bunch of articles. Everything is fully readable. All the pages are there. There's no damage to those. It's unfortunately just in the cover. And because the cover image is shot, it's just not something I want to sell online. So you get it for $5, $5 for the Occult magazine. Give me letter U. All right. We've got this I've actually had before, but because I started cleaning out some of my inventory, I found more. So this is a little set, and I'm selling for the same price I used to because I sold several of these. This is a little set of lottery tickets from East Germany. So you've got the Deutsche Post hunting the horn logo for the postman of Germany and how much the stamps would cost. And then inside, these are some fantastic little pieces of art because you've got these little stamps and they all have the images. So if you were a stamp collector, but you've got information on the postcard rates. I speak German, they actually make sense. But if you're a junk journalist, you've got these great little ads in it. So this one is for, I think it's for Lufthansa. Yes, for Lufthansa airline. I'm not wearing my cheaters, so I couldn't quite read that. We got some nice graphic there for text. And then you've got the little kitchen pig with the housekeeper. So, or housewife. So it's just a fun little piece. $5 for these lotto tickets from East Germany. I happen to have 3 of these. So if there was more than one person that wants them, I found 3 more. So I have multiples of this one available. So if you're interested in the little lottery tickets for $5, you get them for letter E. All right. This one is drifting into ephemeral, and there's kind of ephemera in it. It is film. So you're going to get it in the bag because like one of the stamps fell off of it. So it's trying to keep it together. It's from 1949. It is a reel of Kodak film, Cine Kodak Super X. I have no idea what the theme of this film is. It was sent to Eastman Kodak from someplace in Illinois. I can't read what it says. Oh, Chicago. So it was sent from somebody in Chicago, Illinois to Kodak to get it, I guess to get it printed. I actually don't know how that kind of thing worked back in the time, but you do have some dating on this. So there's a post stamp right on the top, but then there's a little red stamp that goes across it that talks about the rates being upgraded, increased in 1949. So we've got a very specific era of when this is. it could be something interesting on the film. I have no idea. I have no way of showing it. So it was just something that I thought was kind of fun. And I know for people that do industrial decor, this would look really cool. Like this would be a cool conversation piece, whether you kept it in the box, which unfortunately is in pretty rough shape, or you take it out and you just show the actual film. But I think the fact the date and everything and the stamps on there, I think the box is actually part of what makes it cool. So I'm just getting you the whole thing. It's all $5 and it's all letter S. Letter S gets you the industrial film. Had another Valentine, kind of a Valentine set. One is definitely a Valentine. It is a Valentine card. And I love this one because it's black. So kudos to the designer who felt that Valentine says black. But there's some really, really sharp imagery on this one. And it says, "A Valentine to my sweetheart." Oh, good Lord, there's a lot of text. Hold on. "I never knew days were so bright till I met you, so full of laughter and delight till I met you. But now I know how life can shine with happiness for sweetheart mine. You and I found my Valentine when I met you." You see, I found my Valentine when I met you. All right. So it is a card, not a postcard. It wasn't completed by anybody, but somebody put up in the upper corner, "From Tom to Minnie." So I don't know if Tom felt that he didn't want to ruin the text. I don't know what the concept behind that was, but absolutely phenomenal piece, probably worth $5 by itself. But I also had this little trade card that's in kind of rough shape, but it has kind of a Cupid-ish kind of thing on there. You can see somebody drew on it and wrote on it. It's a piano piece. If this were in great condition, this would be $5 piece by itself, but because it's kind of in rough shape on the outside and it's been drawn on right across the top, it's not something that I'm going to put out there. So we're making a little mini Valentine lot here. You get both of these pieces for $5, and you get them by giving me letter Z. $5 letter Z for that second set of Valentines. All right. Again, I mentioned I had some magazines. This is getting into maybe a stretcher version of magazine. We've got a January 1907. If anyone follows my channel, you know the older the better. I love just old stuff because it gets in. Look at just the fonts on this. Like the stuff you can study. January 1907, Lawrence, Masters in Art, a series of illustrated monographs issued monthly. Bates and Guild Company Publishers, Boston. So this came out of Boston. Some ads on the back. Admittedly, I initially picked this up because it does have some cool ads in it. And so those are always fun to review from something from 1907. But as it says on the outside, it's a series of illustrated monographs. These have some fantastic full page, and they're not printed on the back. These were designed to be taken out and framed. So you could get artwork for your home of all of these black and white gorgeous illustrations or reproductions of paintings. So, just like check out some of this art. It's gorgeous. And in 1907, how many places would you have to be able to pick up famous works of art, even though they're being reproduced in black and white? They would still look fantastic on your walls. So this is a case where ideally this would be something maybe you want to use for yourself. It could be a conversation piece to read. There's articles that go along with all the images. But the fact of the matter is, if you're a reseller, these could all be cut up and sold individually because you put them on a mat board, you put a sticker on the back saying that they are pulled from the January 1907 issue. There's no question about the legitimacy and the age of when they were printed. And you just have something that you could make your money, 10 times over. So it is a very cool piece, just something as I'm trying to simplify and reduce my inventory. I do not have the time to do that. So I'm selling this entire thing for $5, and you can do with it as you choose. And you get it by giving me letter C. All right, I'm running out of places to stack things. All right, next I have a book. This is The Divine Comedy of Dante Alighieri. So this one is Inferno. Actually, does it include all of them? Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso. So this actually compiles all of them. There's a great plate of Alighieri. This was clearly a reproduction, later production, because he wrote these back in like the 1500s. This one is from 1948. And so it's a translation, and they are filled with these fantastic images. So if you're familiar with the story, these will follow some of the stories. Depending on how dark you are, you can find images from heaven or from hell or from purgatory, and each one of them will have its own attraction. This is something that is worth way more than $5, but I don't have the resources to try and sell everything just because it's worth more. So I got it for cheap. I'm selling it for cheap. So this is a fantastic edition. It's in actually pretty good shape. You've got a little bit, around the edges. Yeah, this has some wear. People did read this. This is it's not a first edition. This is not super collector. This is another case, to be perfectly honest. If you cut apart the images, you could probably make a lot of money if you're a reseller, because those images are fantastic. But I like it, the fact it's in the book. And I have read it a long time ago. I'm not about to sit down and read it again, but it's one of those interesting things. And you can get the Dante's Divine Comedy by Dante. You get it for $5. Give me letter I. All right. I got another book. Big book. Keep in mind, this one can go media mail, but this is really tall. It is not as old. I think this is from the 90s, maybe 2000s. Judith Dupree's Skyscraper. I found this in a library sale because I love some of the art that they did with this. They've got the back cover on some of the pictures, because they're talking about skyscrapers. That's printed in portrait mode, so you get the skyscraper builds along the side. This is not a rare book. I think it actually, technically, I think it is a first edition, but I don't think there's any particular value to this first edition. It's from 1996. It is a first edition, so technically, but I'm sure thousands and thousands and thousands of these were printed. It's just something that I'd never seen before. I thought it was really cool and totally worth $5. So I will be able to ship it media mail, but just consider this is fairly large, that there will be some, but it'll probably it shouldn't add more than like $3 or $4 to ship it media mail, but just keep that in mind. And I can ship the Dante book for media mail as well. So this is $5, letter B. All right. And then I've got kind of a cool, for my vintage flying friends, a pilot log. Unfortunately, it's had some water damage, and I don't even know if this would be something you could still use. I love this. It's not been filled in, so this could just be a memo book. Like, how cool would it be if you went to a meeting and pulled this out to start taking notes? Like, it's all lined. Like, there's plenty of places for you to just take notes on things. I think it's kind of fun, and I think it's worth $5. And you could have it for $5 by giving me letter R. And if I'm looking at my clock, I think I'm out of time. So I'm going to stop now. So thank you so much for joining my drop sale. Again, don't forget to hop over to Picasso Cat. I said that you were in the middle. There's only 2 after me. So Picasso Cat is next. We are later in the evening than I was thinking. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, claim in the comments. I am going to be on stage tonight when this video runs, so I will not be able to monitor any activity. But as soon as I can, I will try and update, let you know if you got something or if someone got in front of you, but go ahead and monitor the chat yourself so you can see. But I really appreciate your participation. Why am I still wearing my glasses? I appreciate your participation. And those of you that have encouraged me, even when I've been struggling to try and do it all. Thank you again for Beth from Carolina Princess Sweet Treats and Pretties for hosting this. And thank you for giving me your time and putting your trust in Trusty Huckster. I'll talk to you all again soon. Bye-bye.
Well, show me a sign if you're wishing me to stay. Otherwise, I say goodbye, finish out the day. And that sunrise in the morning and you got nothing to say. Oh, that's when I'll be headed on my way.